Continues now.
Welcome back. For decades, Wish TV has been at the forefront of bringing local news into your home with stories that impact you and the greater Indiana community. Tonight, News 8's Phil Sanchez looks back at the power duo with a front seat to history stretching over 20 years of Indiana politics on a local and national level.
Characteristically, Hamilton isn't about to let himself get caught up in the excitement here. Asked this morning about the possibility of becoming Secretary of State under Bill Clinton, he said, "Look, I just got off one list. Don't go putting me on another." In New York City, Jim Shella, Wish TV, News 8.
Ah, the stand-up. That's the part where you usually see us in the stories that we tell. Now, for our political team of Jim Shella and Jim Hester, stand-ups helped illustrate the multiple national conventions this pair attended over their career. For tonight's Wishtory, we take a look at how they took all of us along for the ride.
The room where it happens, and we were a part of that.
Well, it's a little crowded, but that's good. You wouldn't want to throw a convention and have nobody come.
But we'll get back to this scene in a little bit.
Wish TV's political team, reporter Jim Shella and photographer Jim Hester, were staples at both the Democratic National Conventions and the Republican National Conventions from 1988 to 2004.
This sometimes was not just a mental challenge, it was a physical challenge. Those conventions, we hardly got any sleep. I can remember trying to get back home on Friday after the convention ended on Thursday. There was one time in Houston, we didn't get any sleep. We were up all night Thursday night trying to get back.
I'm Jim Shella in Houston, where Dan Quayle promised not to repeat some old mistakes today, and then made a new one. Dan Quayle will reintroduce himself to the American people tonight. And it is obvious that the Quayle campaign is more organized for this election. The president has turned to an Indiana man in hopes of rescuing his re-election effort. 4 years ago, Daniel spent 3 to 4 days a week during the campaign as an advisor to Dan Quayle.
I've put in several all-nighters on the job.
If you got a little time to spare, you ought to try to do your part.
And that hard work paid off.
I thought that was the highest compliment when newsmakers would step out and they'd come right to us. I used to love that because that was just saying, you know, everybody else is going to get what they need anyway. And they didn't care, but they really wanted to make sure that they were on Wish TV.
Mrs. Clinton seemed to drain the United Center of all emotion before Governor Bai spoke. He's not complaining.
Heck no, she's the first lady, Jim.
You could say these two were known knowns.
They call us Jim and Jim, Jim squared, Big Jim and Little Jim.
Good Jim, bad Jim, yeah.
But they took their work seriously, and it showed.
A political reporter, in a lot of ways, is a referee, calling balls and strikes on both sides. And I've always found that, you know, a little bit of sugar helps the medicine go down. You got to be able to get back in the next time. And if you wear out your welcome, you're not going to get an opportunity. So you got to learn how to ask hard questions without making them insulting questions.
That's what the people think, that we're out to get them. We're not trying to get that, no.
It's not gotcha. It's a matter of just explaining what's going on and getting politicians to explain their motivation.
And it should be balanced. You usually had a balance, and that made Jim's stand-ups that much better.
Put it all together, and it's an indication that Bill Clinton thinks he can win Indiana this fall. It's the view of the Quayle camp that this is not a do-or-die night for the vice president, but rather an opportunity to undo some of the damage that was done to his reputation in the '88 campaign. For Bai, it's an effort to reduce expectations, but while he attempts to lower the bar for tonight's performance, the people who recruited him for the job are talking up his potential. On a personal level, the governor says he feels like he's facing a combination of Election Day and a final exam.
Combination of excitement, also a little anxiousness, but it's a tremendous honor. And more than anything else, I feel a tremendous sense of obligation to do a good job, and I hope I do.
There he goes, reducing expectations again. We'll all know if he exceeds them in a few hours.
The thing I liked about working with Jim was that he was a competitor. He too was a high school athlete and wanted to win. And that's what I wanted to do. And I looked at TV news gathering as a competition. We were out there to get the best story every day. We didn't compete against the other television stations. We competed against the newspapers because they had more people there, and they were the best. They were, as far as gathering news was concerned.
If you're looking for reviews, most of the major newspapers in the country gave pretty straightforward coverage of Evan Bayh's speech. The trouble is, by looking at them, you would think that Hillary Clinton gave the keynote address. The Washington Post says that Bayh's speech was almost anticlimactic. The New York Times says it was overshadowed.
And I liked his attitude about, let's go, let's do it. And he was very flexible.
1992, at the Republican National Convention in Houston, Dan Quayle was under wraps. Nobody could get to him all week. One night, he was going to make a visit to the Indiana delegation on the floor. Jim, knowing how these things work, went to the state chairman at the time, Rex Early, and asked if he could stand behind him, because Quayle's going to come and greet the state chairman first.
I think it really makes the convention for the Indiana delegation to have somebody we know and that we like and we admire come down to the Indiana delegation.
And then Quayle started going down the row, visiting with other Indiana delegates, and Jim was backing up. The Secret Service was walking along with Quayle, and they kept saying, "Don't move with us. Don't move with us." And Jim kept moving with them backwards. And we found out later from somebody who was on the frequency that one of the Secret Service guys said, "There's a big guy here and I can't move him."
And to be on the Astrodome floor, you would never know the Bush Quayle ticket is trailing badly.
The Jims would like to correct the record on just one point, though.
Ed Bradley was trying to get an interview with Quayle, and these Illinois guys were trying to block Ed Bradley, and they knocked Ed Bradley to the ground. And some of the people in the Indiana delegation thought it was Jim who knocked Ed Bradley to the ground, and we couldn't convince them otherwise. Meantime, by comparison, there was a photographer from one of the competing stations who decided that the way for him to get a shot was to stand on a chair on the corner in front of the Indiana delegation, which meant he just got knocked on his butt.
Yeah. He had a good shot for about 10 seconds.
So good to see them both. Flexibility and forethought win out in the end. Jim Squared, as we like to call them, are both retired now, but have plenty of stories to tell of Indiana politics. We'll hear much more from them as our 70th anniversary continues. Our Wistery.